So I've been coaching full time since basically the end of 2011, beginning of 2012, over a decade now. And there were a lot of bumps in the road in actually making money, even breaking even in a coaching business. And around 2015, I found a business mentor that helped me do that. I signed up for some very expensive business mentoring, but I learned a lot about how to attract clients over the internet in particular. I also had learned from other mentors how to attract clients or, in your local network, your local area. And I had clients that way too. But it wasn't until 2017 when I really hit my first kind of major milestone in the coaching industry, which is a six-figure year, right? It's a big one in coaching. If you work in some other business, a local business, that's really nothing, right? Usually it's millions. But with coaching, it's big because the margins are much better than other business, little entrepreneurship stuff there. But anyways, I had that success, and it happened through narrowing down in a particular niche. And that niche was something that I knew when I chose to do it. I was at like a business mastermind. There were two paths going this way or that, and I felt that it was the right way to go at the time, but I also knew that it wasn't going to be my ultimate niche per se, right? So in that way, it was a good choice, and it was like the end of 2016 and in 2017, and come just before my birthday in 2017, boom, things took off. I was able to get my own apartment, move out from roommates. I was so ecstatic and felt a sense of relief because I was finally making money that I could feel some level of comfort, right? Some level of comfort because I was just going month to month for years. So I did that, and it was great for a while. But the problem is that this wasn't how I really wanted to be known as a coach. It wasn't something that I saw myself doing a decade down the road. And all this came to a head in 2019, March of 2019 to be exact, because that particular business was driven by online ads. Okay, I had learned a business model to, get coaching clients through online ads, and it worked. But it didn't ultimately work for me. And when the social media platform shut down my account for ad violations, of which they're very stringent, it's sort of ridiculous if you ever run ads, but you're trying to help people with a certain thing, and they have their certain rules, but they have to maintain their image and all this stuff, right? So I get it, but it's a big problem with running ads in a lot of industries, but in the coaching industry in many niches, right? So that happened, and I just kind of lost it. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And I kind of went to this niche and that niche, and I kept going, I need to go this and that. Well, it turns out that I didn't really find my way, and I had a total crash down and breakdown just before COVID hit in March of 2020. And it really had nothing to do with COVID, okay? It just had to do with running the business and cash flow and finances, and here I was again, and I actually restarted and tried to make this same business work again in the same way, and I just couldn't do it, okay? So I ended up, getting together with some family for a while, and I just shut down my coaching business. I shut it all down. And I explored some different types of business, and I was, drinking too much and eating too much, like a lot of us were through the beginning of COVID. And I was like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And turns out that I decide to, and this is going to be, as I'm telling it now, there's like this multiple restart thing that goes on, because I love coaching overall. I sort of feel like I don't know what to do. What else can I do, right? Even though I could do other things, and people are like, hey, start an ad agency and be a service provider, all stuff that I was like, I just didn't feel really good, because at the heart of my hearts, I'm a coach, or I'm a transformation helper bringer, right, of interchange for people so that their lives really changed. It's what I love, and I love that coaching conversation, that space that helps somebody and they shift, grow, and change and progress over time. Sometimes they progress very quickly, and that's awesome, but a lot of times not. So I, there's another marketing coaching program, and this is something I can get into here a little bit. There's a whole industry around marketing, business coaching to coaches. It's kind of a multi-level marketing feel. It's like, okay, I'm going to be a coach that helps coaches, and I've got a client who helps coaches, and he helps coaches. It's like turtles all the way down, as they say in spiritual. It's like kind of crazy in my opinion. I don't want to go on a rant on that, because I never got into coaching just to make money. I got into it because I loved it. And my first coach training back in 2004 was one of the most transformational experiences of my life. It opened me up to other doorways of interchange and personality and identity and spirituality even. A very, very well-structured, certified professional coach training program. This is something I had to do in person, 3 conferences. I got coached in between with calls, got mentor coached over, 8 months. And it was pricey, but it was well worth it. So I signed up for one of these marketing coaching programs, and then I'm starting to get, okay. And then I start to go towards the money and then coaching coaches a little bit. And I do that for like a month and a half, and I'm like, this is horrible. I cannot do this. And to the point where I go, I am absolutely quitting again. And I go and drive DoorDash. Okay. And I go and drive DoorDash, and I'm living on my own again, finally, after, COVID has settled down enough. And then I get into a car accident. My first major car accident in my life. Never been in a major car accident. On break from driving DoorDash. And I have one coaching client. I have one coaching client that I signed on that I help in the confidence social skills niche, which I still do and still love to do this day. So I haven't really quit, I guess, but I felt like I have, because I'm not trying to, enroll new clients, help people. I'm not making content. I'm not running ads. I'm not doing any of this stuff, right? So I feel like, yeah, I can help this guy. I just do it. It's easy. It's fun. I love it. I get paid a bit. Yeah, I do it in my sleep. I've been doing it for a decade. I can do it in my sleep because, I'm highly experienced at this point. And so I get in that car accident, and I'm like, now I can't make money doing DoorDash for a while, and have to borrow family members, automobile, get the settlement, car's total loss, secure a new vehicle, do a little bit of DoorDash. Then a friend says, hey, can you help me do some consulting? Because we used to work in tech. I'm pretty good at thinking and problem solving. So I help her in her local business put some processes in place, do some cleanup. There was a little bit of a internal blow up in her business, and she hires me for 2 months as a consultant. And that's great, because I much prefer that actually than doing DoorDash. Although DoorDash is kind of fun, nothing against it. I really have nothing against it. Like, my mindset changed, I'll admit, this sounds horrible, look down a little bit on people that did that kind of stuff. But after I did it, there's actually something quite fun about it for a while. Not the best way to make money long-term. I don't think it's in the favor of that provider. And there are some people who have done some really smart creative things in gig providing. Like, I've seen people like, either they know how to run multiple services, or they have a jewelry store and get clients through doing Uber or DoorDash, which is pretty, well, not DoorDash, Uber, right? You can't do that through DoorDash, but it's pretty awesome. When I saw that, I was like, wow, really inventive and creative, more creative and inventive than me, right? So I do that. And then I have another friend who's a coach, and he quit coaching, and he's like, I'm going to get a job in tech sales. And I'm like, well, I know sales. We have to know kind of sales to do coaching. We call it enrollment a lot, which is, hey, is coaching a fit or not, and all these kinds of things. Pretty simple. But he does that, and I'm like, yeah, I'll just do that too. And so I start doing some job interviews at tech startups, and it's not going well. It just doesn't go well. My friend got in at a time when, and he asked me, hey, you want to come on board? And I said, let me wait, because my other friend hired me as a consultant. And there's some kind of divine timing, if you believe in that. I didn't used to, but I do now. And it was good for him, and I probably could have gone on board, but I said, wait. I did that. And when I went back to try to get on board, they had started shutting down things because they're looking at the industries and all this stuff. And I'm interviewing, and I'm just feeling like, and no offense to my younger subscribers, right? I'm in my mid 40s, and I'm interviewing with people 10, 15, 20 years younger than me, and they're really smart and they're really sharp. And I'm like feeling like I have to prove myself to them. And I have a third interview with what I jokingly say, a tech startup owner who's way too good looking, building a startup, and I'm qualifying myself. And at the end of that interview, it was like, hey, we'll talk next steps. And I know that I'm supposed to follow up, right? And that shows my interest. You kind of have to do that, and they're sorting candidates, and I don't do it. I just get this feeling I don't do it. And I wake up one day, next few days, and I actually prayed or asked consciousness / God, show me what to do. What should I do? And I got this feeling, and I just said, screw it. I'm going to go get some clients again. I have some email lists from, over the years. And I went and did that, and boom, got clients very quickly and started up coaching again. But let's talk about why. So that's the story. Multiple quits, restarts, right? Why did I restart this thing again? And believe me, there's been lots of financial struggles along the way. I'm still dealing with aftermath of financial struggles and things. Because when you run a business, cash flow is no joke. There's a general saying that even my father knows, who is not a businessman at all. He was a hardworking corporate type, that the number one thing that screws up businesses, small or big, even big, is cash flow. This is a real deal thing that you don't worry about when you have a job. And so one of the main reasons I first quit coaching, quote unquote, was because I was sick of this coaching marketing industry thing, not coaching itself, but the marketing industry to coaches that's always so adamant on, you got to have a niche, and you got to be this, and you got to be that. And look, niching does work in business, and it absolutely does work. And I have 2 niches that I coach in right now. I might be opening up a third. This video might open up a third. I just know I love to coach. I can coach a lot of things. And coaching is also, I'm going to make a whole video on this, but real quick. To me, pure coaching, like pure transformational coaching, is about me helping you find your own answers, tap your own inner knowing, see things about yourself you didn't know before, that you already had within a lot of what you were seeking. Now, there is a place for what I call mentoring, which a lot of people call coaching. Mentoring, training, advising, which is, I have a certain particular set of information that can help you. That happens with my social confidence coaching, for sure, and social skills. With dating coaching, it can happen to a certain degree, but also to a certain degree, you've got to have a certain amount of being willing to look within and see your own inner blocks and stuff. And I can help point them out, but you have to be able to like internalize that and make that real for you so that your life changes in a different direction, right? And to me, that pure coaching again is that let's see what's really up and let's bring that out as an insight and then turn that into something actionable. And that's a huge difference between coaching and therapy. Also, with the actionable part, especially with the actionable part, and also that I can intervene and give direct feedback, whereas therapy tends to shy away from that. But if you ever watched the movie Stutz on Netflix, Stutz, Jonah Hill, the famous actor, his therapist, he interviews his therapist, and his therapist basically acts as a therapist coach, because he throws all the stuff about therapy out the window of being completely neutral, only asking questions, never providing feedback, and most importantly, not having a personal relationship with the client, which coaching is, we're allowed to do it, thankfully. I don't think I can hang in therapy that way. I have too strong of a personality, for better or for worse. Anyways, so let me bottom line this, because I want to wrap this up here. The thing that I want to point whoever's listening to this to, whether you were just curious as a subscriber or you're looking at something in your life that you're thinking of quitting, or maybe you did quit, but there's this sense of unease, like, you kind of regret it, you kind of want to get back to it, is this. When it comes to our life path and purpose and passion and all these types of things, right? Purpose is a really great word for this, or something that we just know we got to get back to. Maybe you got out of a relationship and man, I really, really kind of messed that up. I don't want to use judgmental language, but it's pretty common. I made a mistake, right? and you know in your heart that it's right, and you know deep in your heart it's not just like out of neediness or desperation in a relationship situation. Or the same thing with a profession, right? Maybe it's a hobby even, who knows? Maybe you gave up a hobby or something because you got busy with family or business or career or whatever got in the way of life. And you just know that you got to do it in some way, right? Is to really take time out for yourself, quiet time, nature time, meditation time. That's one of the main key ways that we tap into our inner knowing, because you know, if you have that feeling inside and you don't need any rational explanation for it, you see, just like I woke up that day and said, I asked for help, which depending on your spiritual proclivity is God or great consciousness, or it's actually you in a higher form, right? That the answer comes, and it can come in just a download, in a feeling, and you don't need to rationalize through it. You can if you want, I guess, but you don't need to. This is actually where I'd love to take coaching and make more videos on. And if you want to hear more about this in videos, please drop a comment below, please, because it makes me know that it's helpful for you. And that has to do with things like life purpose and path. And maybe it is career, business, profession, right? Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's total career change, profession change. Maybe you want to move across the world and you're scared and all the reasons don't make sense. All the reasons that you put on paper say that you should stay, but in your heart, deep inside of you, you know you got to go. And only fear is getting in the way, mind fear. If you want to hear more about this, please leave a comment, because I would love to make more videos about this. And I actually would love, if people really genuinely need help with this, to open up some coaching spots for this type of thing. And it sort of seems ironic, right? A little bit, that I'm here to serve as a pure transformational coach to help point people back. But it actually makes sense. Now more than ever, we're distracted digitally. We've got AI coming. We've got all these things coming that are kind of overwhelming. And my old coach mentor said the reason coaching is evolved and came to be, because therapy was the thing, is because of how it handles uncertainty. And there's a certain lightness to it and a certain life opening to it in coaching, right? That's what I found. So anyways, I hope this video impacted you in some way. Like, subscribe, share it out to a friend, family member, just over email. You don't have to share it on social media. If it impacted you, if it helped you, you think it might help somebody else, especially. And I've always got resources and links below the video to help more. And until next video, we're complete. See you later.